So I wanted to look at some stuff, right? So I seen this post right here from DOA Mama Jama. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. The name doesn't matter. Okay. The name doesn't matter. But this was like a tweet from 2 to 3 days ago. So as much as I appreciate the First Descendant booty, Nexon needs to turn these numbers around if they want this game to survive more than a year. Looks alone can't save a free-to-play game. If there's no new content to come back to, these numbers are terrible. And I wanted to look at the numbers today for the First Descendant and also the numbers for two other big free-to-play. Well, one is quote unquote, free to play, but like looter shooters, in the same genre as First Ascendant. And I mean, this is the new First Ascendant is the newest one out of all of them. It just came out like last year. But yeah, look at these numbers. So this is today, the First Ascendant 24-hour peak 19 not 19 but 9,000. Last 2 hours, 6,000. That is terrible. Now look at these numbers. Warframe, 24-hour peak, 56,000. 2 hours ago, 51,000. And this game came out 2013. Okay. So it's pretty old. The numbers are pretty decent. Like these are pretty decent numbers. No other developer would complain about these numbers, and a game being 12 years old, these are good numbers. Now let's look at my love, Destiny 2. Now I haven't played this game in like a month or two, something like that. Yeah, it's been a while, but numbers still, this came out what, 2014, 2015, 2014 on Steam. And I mean, no, it came out 2017 on Steam. The game Destiny 2 came out 2014. So, around the same time as Warframe. Now, Warframe is surprisingly doing better, but these numbers aren't terrible for being a 12-year-old game, 12, 13-year-old game, 24-hour peak, 20,000, 2 hours ago, 17,000. Not terrible. Then you also have to think of like for both like Warframe and Destiny, like the consoles and stuff, you still have Xbox and PlayStation. So these numbers are probably a little bit bigger than this. I really wanted to talk about like the First Descendant. Okay. Like, where's it going wrong? Was it doing right? And I feel like I played Warframe like when it first came out, and I know it has a lot more content, and they really worked on this game. And I have like around 20,000, probably a little bit less or more, whatever, hours in Destiny and Destiny 2. This is probably like the longest period I went out, playing this game, this month or two. I feel like First Ascendant, yes, it has nice visuals. The gameplay is fun, right? Not saying that. The gameplay is pretty fun. The shooting, the movement, the abilities, that's all nice. But the problem comes is with the systems. You know, like the crafting and, the timers and everything. And everyone likes to compare this game to Warframe because they did rip the systems off from Warframe. They it's clear if you ever played Warframe, you can just they just directly rip them off. But the systems in First Descendant is a lot worse because it's just they take advantage of the players, you know? Like it's so much easier to get materials and stuff to craft your warframes and the weapons and Warframe than it is the First Descendant. You have to do hours and hours of grinding in the First Descendant to get the weapons you want, to get the then once you do that, like the timers are so ridiculous. So you spend hours upon hours to get just to get the materials, like days, weeks to get one drop that you need. Then on top of that, you got to wait, you know, 10, 15, 20 hours to get what you already worked for hours. And like Warframe, it is so much easier to get the materials you want. So when you actually get the option to craft what you wanted, I mean, it's not really a big deal to wait for the timers because you didn't spend, you know, hours upon days upon weeks just to get the materials, you know, then you have to wait hours just to get the warframe or the weapon you want. Like the system in First Citizen is just a more monetized and this doesn't respect the players' time at all. This doesn't. Then upon that, like the activities in the game, like they mention, like it needs new content and stuff. The content in this game is just boring. Like the only big thing really is like the new bosses, but it's like nothing to like lead up to the bosses. A new boss comes out and you just play in this one arena, small arena to kill this boss. There's no extra activities. These bosses aren't in like the open world. You don't do like a little story or like progression to actually get to the boss, right? So it's like, why like if you already are hot, like have like a high power, a high level, and and you're very powerful, you already beat all the other bosses, so you just got this one boss to do. You can go in, beat it. Guess what? That's it. I mean, when they most of the time when they bring out the new bosses, they have a weapon attached to them, so you have that. you know you got to grind for the materials for the weapon, so you got to play that same boss over and over again. You see how this kind of just gets repetitive. You just keep going, beating that boss, beating it till you get the materials. Then once you get the materials, you go and try to craft a weapon. Then you have hours to wait. It's not very fun. you know I don't The one thing I do appreciate about the First Descendant is when they come out with a new character, they have a little storyline to them. That's awesome, but like the new content they do release, it's not very good because it's just, I mean, it's basically the same stuff you've been doing from the beginning. It's not fun. Warframe has so many different like activities to do, and it the game is huge. You got like, I'm not sure because I haven't played it for forever. Can't talk, but there's like two open worlds. There's like a rogue like mode in the game. You got space battles. It's just so much in the game that I've seen, you know. And First Descendant, maybe it would get there, but with these numbers, they definitely have to. I mean, if they want this game to survive, they have to do something. And Destiny, like Destiny 2, you have like so many activities. You got like grandmasters, you got the PvP modes. There's quite a bit of content compared to like the First Descendant in the game that if you're a newish player or if you don't or if you're like a casual player, there's quite a bit of content there. I mean, for me, like having like around 20,000 hours in the game, I mean, there's really not much for me to do. It just kind of got boring after a while. But that's the only problem I have with Destiny. But like I said, if you're like a casual player or a new person coming in, there's plenty of content. Can't say the same for the First Ascendant. I just can't. You know, once you hop into the game for the first time, pretty much what you're doing at the beginning is what you're going to be doing at the end. Then a lot of people aren't going to like the grind to get the materials for the new descendants and the new weapons and stuff. It's because it's just tedious. Then once they do that, they have to wait for a timer. And if you want that timer to go faster, you got to pay for it. You know, it's just, it's not good. I mean, yeah, it's got Gunner bait in it. The First Descendant has good looking models and stuff, but that can only carry a game so far. You know, but let me know your opinion down in the comments. I just wanted to talk about this, like the numbers and stuff, and these looter shooters and how the First Descendant is doing so bad compared to like two other games that been out for like 12, 13 years. But leave me a comment. Let's talk about the First Descendant and looter shooters and free to play games in the comments. Leave me a like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more videos, and I'll see you next time. All right, peace.